Hi and welcome back to Trilicus. I'm your host Wayne, and yet again we're going to be talking sci-fi. Thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it, and if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment, like and subscribe in the box below, whether you like or don't like. I'm not fussed. Your feedback is important to me, and I do read all of your comments. So today we're going to talk about DarkPhoenix. DarkPhoenix is the fourth film in the reimagined X-Men franchise, following on from Apocalypse. It will be the last X-Men film made by Fox, as the merger between Disney and Fox nears completion, which some think is a good thing. I'm sitting on the fence about it. I'd like to see how they handle the other franchises in the Fox that Fox own, but that's a different story and for a different video. So where was we? Right. Yeah, it's the last X-Men film to be made under the Fox branding, and it's expected that Disney is going to be pulling all of its IPs under one roof, so everything Marvel will return to the Marvel Universe. That'll bring about a consistency within the M.C.U. Things don't appear to be looking good for DarkPhoenix though. Behind the scenes, it has been besieged with issues and problems and reshoots. The story focuses on Jean Grey, the most powerful mutant, even stronger than Professor X. Jean is a telepathic and telekinetic mutant, meaning that she can look into people's minds and see what they're thinking, as well as control inanimate objects. In the 1990s cartoon X-Men, which I enjoy thoroughly as a kid and remember fondly, Jean's powers are boosted beyond her control from a mission in space that causes her to sacrifice herself. She later returns back to the series and Earth as the Phoenix. As soon as the Phoenix is introduced to new sensations, so although Jean and the Phoenix return to Earth, it's kind of like a schizophrenic scenario, in the fact that you've got Jean that is available and present and coherent, but then she gets taken over by the Phoenix. Eventually, the Phoenix takes over Jean completely, and because the Phoenix itself hasn't experienced things like love, hate, anger, and real emotion, the Phoenix spirals out of control as it is exposed to these new sensations. One thing that brings the Phoenix back in the cartoon series is Jean Grey's love for Scott Summers. Love tends to be the overriding emotion that can bring even the most darkest of people to their senses and bring them back to the light side of things. On screen, the Phoenix Saga was used as the focal point for X-Men 3, The Last Stand. And although it was essentially the story of the Dark Phoenix, they didn't seem to give it enough time. I think in them days, had they have done a 3 or 3.5 hour film about the Dark Phoenix and X-Men, they would have crammed everything in, and it could have been one of the best films of the trilogy. However, it wasn't really fashionable in them days to make exceedingly long films. So unfortunately, they tried to cram in so much in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it doesn't really work. And that makes The Last Stand being considered as one of the weakest films in the original trilogy. It currently has a ranking of 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. In this incarnation of one of the X-Men's most beloved characters, Jean is hit by a cosmic force that transforms her into one of the most powerful mutants of all time while performing a life-threatening rescue mission in space. So it sounds like they're kind of sticking to the original story, at least the one that I'm familiar with from the cartoon. Jean Grey then evolves into the iconic Dark Phoenix. Becoming increasingly unstable, she struggles with this power as well as her own. Jean Grey then evolves into the iconic Dark Phoenix. Becoming increasingly unstable, she struggles with this new power as well as her own personal demons. Jean spirals out of control, dragging the X-Men family apart with the power to destroy the planet. So again, it sounds very similar to the original cartoon series, which I'm sure is faithful to the comic books. So there we go. X-Men Dark Phoenix is due for release early in June and is estimated to be heading for a lukewarm reception at the box office, with an expected opening of $50 million at the US on opening weekend. I've really got a bad vibe about this film, but hope that it will be a case that once we go and see it, we will walk away after watching it and think, well, that was better than what I expected. And this is something that only time will tell. But I do hope that this film is a success, as I've really enjoyed the previous 3 films with this particular cast playing the parts. So yeah, as I say, early June, X-Men Dark Phoenix comes out in the box office. So I will do a spoiler-free review as always. And if you like what I've said so far about Dark Phoenix or any of my other videos, please subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I will be leaving links to the trailers in the description, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much for watching.